Okay, good evening, and welcome to the Trophy Club Crime Control Prevention District meeting, December 5th, 2023. We'll call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. We have a roll call, so we'll start with, on the end, Royce, Christina, Chris, and Mark. We are absent. Are we waiting for, do we think?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have Heath, but we still have a quorum. Our next order of business, do we have anyone signed up for public comments?
No, we don't, but the mayor would like to address the board before we
Please.
start.
Thank you. I'm making my rounds for our new season this year with all of our boards, and the purpose of my time tonight is to say thank you to each of you. I'm representing the town, the council, and the town management, appreciating your service, and with always an eye on the safety and security of Trophy Club. That's probably why you exist at some high level. But I also just wanted to say that one of the opportunities we had as the team to interview members for our boards was that of really looking at people with the skills and knowledge and abilities to contribute to the board and mostly to the town. So, and one of the things we talked about, I remember talking with Leo about it, is programs for the town related to crime, prevention, security, and so forth. So, and I know that that's part of your charter, and I know that Patrick's going to be speaking to it tonight, and I want to encourage you to take this on and do it, because one of my whole goals in the town of Trophy Club is to connect the community to each other. And the more events that we have in our town related to them having a more satisfying experience in the town, I think it's a great opportunity. So we're really asking that of all the boards. Each board has the opportunity to take their stuff to the town and get them engaged. And I also believe that the boards represent the community first, and it's the opportunity for the community to come to you and ask for help as well as to what they want. So I hope, too, we can continue to encourage people to come to you and ask for help. So I kind of function on the thing that we don't know. And that's why I believe that there's a lot of opportunity in this town to educate our people. And one of the ways that we've done that recently is to have a DEA representative to speak to fentanyl, and that's kind of under your preview. So those are kind of opportunities we want to look for. And thank you again. And I want to just say, too, if you'd like to come Monday night, we will be swearing in our new town manager, Brandon Wright, whom, if you've not met, you have the opportunity to meet. And I want to take this opportunity again to thank Patrick for leading us through these last 9 months. It's been a great experience for me, and I hope for you too. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, if we have no public comments, thank you for the mayor's comments. Next item is going to be for us to consider action on appointing a CCPD chair and chairperson. All right. Do we have any discussion or any nominations for the chair or the chairperson?
I don't have any, but just for some guidance, we need to either appoint a new member or reappoint Leo as our chair and Heath as our vice chair. So, but if somebody would like to talk about it or make a motion.
I think that would be good, because we have them they're experienced members of the board, and with all the new changes and the new city manager and everything, we need this to be a solid base for us.
Okay.
I'd like to nominate Leo to continue his position as chair. I think he's doing a great job.
Cool.
Second that one.
Second, okay. Discussion,
Any further discussion?
take a
I
vote.
don't know if I could speak on that, or if I do a vote for, okay, so please, if we could have a vote for Leo Daniels remaining as the chair for the CCPD board. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And then we also need to have the discussion for Heath maintaining his position, so can I make that nomination? So I'd like to nominate that Heath remain the chair or the co-chair for the board.
And I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, we can have a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Thank you. I would like to take a second before we move on to the next item, is to thank former member Joe Tully for his service. We'll have a little placard for him at the next meeting. We'll invite him to come to receive that from the board, as thanking him for his service. He did his time, 6 years on the board, so thank him for that. So,
Thank you, Joe.
and welcome Royce Labor. He's replaced Joe. So welcome, sir. Welcome to be on board. Would you like to say something to the board or?
Just looking
the-
forward
to
to
the
working
public?
with y'all.
Welcome,
Appreciate you.
welcome.
Thank you, Royce, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Welcome on board.
Okay, if, we'll move on to future programs, items, and we'll have recommendations. So Chief, you have,
First.
I'm sorry, I went right over the minutes. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes? If you have not, please take a moment, and then we can,
But I have them. Wrong page. Oh, there it is.
if everyone's had a chance to look, does anyone have any items for discussion? If not, then I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as printed.
Second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
We will accept the minutes as they have been written.
Yes,
Chief.
yes. Item 3, discuss future programs, items, and make recommendations. So this is our first meeting of our 2023-24 fiscal year. So this is our opportunity to ask you as board members to help guide us, with some programs that you would like to see. We don't have to have decisions tonight, but for the next meeting, and we can talk over the course of the next month or two before we have our next meeting on putting together something. But we have a very vibrant SRO program with our SROs in our schools. We bought some equipment to help beef that up. We have a crime control prevention program. We have neighborhood block party program, neighborhood block, citizens block program. So we have other programs that we're already running. So now we're just looking to see what we want to do this year. So this is our opportunity to sit around and talk about some of those things. So some of the things that affect us the most, we have a lot of DWI, so alcohol-related programs. We have, we can talk about a camera program. We already have the flock camera system. We have cameras at the dog park. We have cameras at the Trophy Club Park entrance. So possibly expand that to the other city, town parking lots for crime prevention stuff. And then special assistance programs, mental health type things. The county, we really count on the county for mental health, but they've lost personnel and staffing. So that assistance has really dropped off to basically none. So we do train our officers in mental health, so I don't know how much we can do with that, where that could take us, but it's something we could possibly do to enhance that program for some of the issues we have in town. So just, those are some simple ideas to start this conversation. So I'd like to turn it over to you and see what you guys have to say.
I've got one thing that, it's been a problem for a long time, and I think we've just kind of been overlooking it, is I see a lot of kids out there that I know aren't of legal driving age riding golf carts. And they're not secured, and people are riding around with little kids on the back of them, and they don't have a belt on or anything, and
Right.
I don't want to see a catastrophe happen.
Right. We are addressing that issue. That's been a longstanding issue, and I actually had a conversation with the judge the other day about that kind of stuff, for the tickets that we are issuing on golf carts. So, thank you.
Is there anything we can do to get the community here to discuss golf carts and how to make it safer? And or, I think it would be great to fill this room with some discussion of how they're feeling. I don't know. When you said we also cover like special projects, I just wonder if CPR is something the community would want to learn, or
Yeah,
have we done that before?
That's more of the fire department's
That's fire,
realm,
okay.
yes. So, and we
Okay.
do offer that up with AED training,
Yeah,
so.
but a way to
Yeah,
get them
so-
here, maybe once a year, to tell them that we're having
Right.
refreshments.
And that's something we could, so if we come up with an idea for a program, we will definitely advertise it and ask the community to come, but we want to, so let's pick a project.
Okay,
Maybe we can have a discussion through me over the course of the next several weeks of ideas back and forth. Don't communicate with each other, communicate with me, and I'll
Right.
communicate with all of you.
right.
So we don't have that walking quorum, but come up with some ideas or one particular idea, and then we'll utilize our communications department to present the idea to the community and ask them to come and help us craft the details of a program. Is that what we're looking for? Is ask citizens to come in and meet with us. We can do our next meeting can be a workshop on a particular topic.
The Fire Police Academy, I thought was a very good
Yes.
program, and I would like a lot of other people to have that same opportunity to go to that.
Yep, and that's still ready to go. We're just waiting for me to get back to my side of the house. So the next couple of weeks, we can be talking about that again. So, but yes, that was a great program,
It was.
and it's going to continue, so.
You mentioned SRO, I don't know.
That's the school resource officers, the policemen and women we have in the schools,
Okay,
so, yes. And this is, the CCPD supports the SRO program. So the school district funds the SROs, but you support the program by the drug analyzer that was purchased and some other
Right.
things that we do, so.
Chief, can you make a clarification? And we talked about this, I know it's something everyone's received the information about the boards, about the walking quorum, and then the whole idea
Oh,
about
yes.
the best way to communicate with, even if we're just communicating with you, how we can't send it to the entire group, how you
Right.
can't. So
Right.
it
Yes.
just-
So if more than four of you or four of you talk at once, that's a quorum. You establish a meeting, and what a walking quorum is, where you're not sitting here. It's not an official meeting. It's outside of here, either where you're at a different function or you're all at home and you email more than three. That's considered a walking quorum, so it's actually a meeting, and it's not declared, so it's a violation of the Open Meetings Act. So the way we do that is you communicate through me individually, and then I get to communicate back to you individually, most probably blind copying each one of you so you don't see what each one are saying. And we really can't make a decision either, but we can pass information back and forth to generate a discussion that would lead, when we meet, to a conclusion. So I can't have a decision made in that fashion either. So it's just to pass information back and forth to continue a conversation, but the decisions and stuff are all made when we're together as a group and we have a quorum.
But this is the perfect example of, like, to Christina's point, I mean, once you leave here, we're not thinking of everything tonight. She
Right.
goes and starts talking to some of the people that, that know she's on this board and they have ideas.
Right.
She shares that with you, we talk about it, and then that comes up for the agenda for the next.
Right, exactly. So, and you have to be careful, if you can communicate with Chris, and so the two of you talk, and then Chris turns and talks to Mark, and Chris and Mark are talking, and then Mark turns and talks to Leo, we end up with a walking quorum in the same fashion. That's also a problem. So that's why just go through a single entity,
sense.
the staff member, your coordinator, to help drive that conversation. So those are the two pitfalls of the walking quorum. So we want to avoid that at all costs. So we want to be able to give you enough information to drive a conversation, so when you come here, you're prepared to have an open discussion and then make a decision.
right,
But we don't want to do that behind the scenes.
That was part of the information that I got, and I know everybody else did too, but it's been a long time.
Right.
When we took the classes we had to take and stuff, so maybe that might be a good thing to where you have to take it every 2 years instead of just once.
Right, right. I think, did you just take it?
I
you?
did.
Yes. So, so that's what we're talking about, is that class you just took. So, yes, maybe we
The
could do it.
online
You can
class you're
always
talking
do a refresher. So we can have Tammy the
Yeah,
town
but
secretary send that
nobody's
back
gonna
out.
do it
Yes.
unless they're asked.
Right, or they have to do it, right? So, yeah, thank you for bringing that up, but that is a good refresher. So, but I think, like I said, we don't have to generate some ideas, but we can, over the next couple of weeks, put something together, and we'll start the next meeting with a short workshop and invite the public to come to that workshop, but we'll have one or two items that we can narrow it down to that we can work on. So, and I think with the number of DWIs and stuff we have, alcohol-related issues may be something, things like that. So, things that we can prepare for, build a program towards, and then execute, so.
I've got a question about the DWI issues. I mean, I've been here a while. It used to always be around the club, okay?
Yeah,
If we had anything. But now we've got these other places
right,
selling alcohol, and that's been the increase.
yeah. So we have a lot of alcohol. We used to have none, right, except for the country club. And now we have the country club, we have HT Supply, Hutchins Barbecue has their request in for an alcohol license. We have places in PD 30 that are selling alcohol, so it's out there. Plus, we have all the places around us. So it's not just here, but it's people cutting through Trophy Club and stuff, or get lost is the biggest thing. They get lost in Trophy Club. So,
They get lost and,
oh yeah, no, they make a wrong turn, and everybody knows Trophy Club has no straight streets. So, yes. So, and it goes in cycles, I mean, so, but it's just something that if we can help prevent, that's what we're trying to do. So,
Let me ask one more question about, I know that you've had a lot of problems with car thefts. I mean, people coming into the community and stealing things out of cars. And that's been going on for a while. Is there anything educationally that we can do about that?
yeah.
And tell people,
Well, actually, we've seen a reduction in that.
well, you have.
Yep, because of the cameras. And the ones we have, we've actually been able to, correct me if I'm wrong, get arrest or at least target where they're coming from. So having the
That's
flock
how-
camera system has dramatically improved
that's
that kind of,
nice.
our security for that kind of
That's
stuff.
good to
And that's where a discussion about adding more cameras to the parking lots in the town will make even another increase in safety. Like nothing happens in the dog park because we have cameras in there. And they've been there for almost 7 years now. We've never had an issue since we put them up. So the pool parking lot, the Independence East, Independence West, and Harmony Park, we put cameras up there. We don't have a ton of problems on Harmony Park, but every once in a while we do. You know, the kids go and destroy the concession stand or something, or a car gets broken into when they have a soccer tournament. But same with the pool parking lot. Every summer we get a couple of cars broken into. So, and there's no real leads unless somebody sees something. But what a single camera can do is tell us what a
great.
car did, so.
what about our electronic billboards that we have on the entrances? Since this is a time of the year and we're talking about alcohol problems, where some of us choose to enjoy some alcohol, okay?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
But maybe a little note just flashing every now and then, don't drink and drive, da-da-da-da-da. Keep Trophy Club safe, don't drink and drive.
Right, yep, that's part of what we can do as a discussion, as a program, that would be part of that.
Great.
But I
mean,
mean, you talk
we-
about other people coming through here.
Right.
If they see that, they know that our community is aware of the problem and they better go somewhere else.
Right, yes, yep, so, no, that kind of stuff, so thank you. So think about those kind of things over the next week or two and send me your ideas, and we'll start to compile them and start, put something together, and then we'll send something out back to the group as talking points and try to narrow it down. Yes,
Question. So you're looking at something as a community event that will work with the CPD or the police department, or something that just to engage the citizens?
yeah, to engage the citizen, the community,
The
so the
community,
community
right.
supports the initiative that we're trying to do. If it's a anti-DWI program, or if it's a golf cart safety program, you know, something like that.
Okay.
What program do we want to take on this year and pursue with advertising, promoting it through our public information system, literature, meeting at the schools, meeting at HOA meetings, I mean, drive the conversation and safety. So, and then, like you said, put it on the billboards, put it on our websites to say, hey, Trophy Club doesn't, you know, support this activity, something like that. So, but that's what we would sit down and talk about, is how do we want to do this? What's going to be our program for the year? So, but I want as much input as I can from you guys. So,
One question, Chief, and if this has been covered before, I apologize, being new to this. Has it been discussed, perhaps having meetings in the various and sundry communities? For example, you hosting, a private citizen hosting a meeting in their home, much like we do when we have elections. You know, we talk to the candidate, but for example, having you or one of the other police officers come in and answer community questions. Is that doable? Is that,
it's doable, but I don't know if that's right for this board.
okay,
So, because this board drives funding and stuff like that, so we want to keep it as open as possible. You know, we want to be careful on, but yes, the department doesn't have a problem with going to HOA meetings and gatherings to provide information.
I was
Yep.
thinking in terms of community outreach and.
Right.
I remember when the cameras went up and some people
Oh, yeah.
were completely opposed to the cameras. And
Yep.
some people were just surprised that
Right.
they hadn't heard anything about it till the last minute
Right.
and just
And that-
looking for ways to.
Yeah, and if we develop a program, and the program is community outreach, where we would set those things up, yes. But it still would fall along the lines of, you know, publicizing the meeting and the location. So, sort of, maybe want to avoid people's homes necessarily, but, you know, a church or a school,
Sure.
something that would be more open and inviting.
Just looking to clarify, I mean, now, we're not talking about having an official meeting, because when we have to
No,
have it.
that would, so if we started the program, the
Yes,
program would
absolutely.
consist of those types of informational, getting the word out meetings. Not, but we would post if 4 board members were showing up, you know, that kind of stuff, because that's a quorum. No matter where they go, if it's related to the board's actions, we have to post, and we have to do that 72 hours in advance and stuff like that, so, yeah. So, and that's the technicality stuff we'll worry about. So, but that's all part of that, so thank you. Cool. Anything, is that a good foundation to get started?
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. And we'll relay this information to them,
Absolutely.
so, thank you.
And then you had further discussion.
Yep, I'm going to ask Captain Tillman, who's been handling my side of the house, the police department for a while, to give us an update on what the PD's been doing.
Thank you.
Good evening, board members. So most of the stuff that's been going on in the PD has been centered around recruitment because we were shorthanded for the last few years. And so I'll just give you some updates on some of our recruiting and hiring. Lieutenant John Coletta has been heading that up, and he's done an outstanding job of identifying really good candidates and getting some of them hired. So recently we hired, I'm pretty sure most of you've seen Officer Jarrett. Jarrett, he was at the the last council pending ceremony, but since him, we've hired 2 other officers, Tyler Billups and Cal Calderon, and they're having a pending ceremony at the council meeting coming up Monday, along with the promotion of Sergeant Joshua Hernandez. Also, we have an offer letter to an officer transferring from Nebraska who's going to be reporting to duty in January. So that's going to bring us up to where we'll be pretty close to our target staffing level. We'll just still be two officers short at that point, but we have a couple others identified and negotiating as far as salaries to possibly get them hired here in the near future.
Captain, can you remind us what the full staffing is?
23 sworn officers, and then we have 4 support.
Do you have any women that are officers?
Yes, we currently have 2 female officers, and we do have several candidates that's applied, female candidates that's applied.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Also, we have Officer Zachary Sprouse, who was the Officer of the Year. I don't know if you're able to attend the Rotary's honoring of our Officer of the Year, but he just transferred over to CID, so he'll now be conducting investigations in CID. and a couple of major investigations that we have going on, actually, in CID. We have a catalytic converter theft investigation that we're conducting, where we've identified 20 different agencies that are involved, where with over 50 victims, 2 of the victims were here in Trophy Club. And through our investigation with Detective Medina, we discovered that there were so many other agencies till we basically brought them all together, had a meeting here in Trophy Club with several of the other agencies and their detectives, and identified a ring that was responsible for going everywhere from down south in Bryan, Texas and College Station to several of the cities around here. So last week, one of the suspects in that ring was arrested. Detective Medina actually participated in the interrogation of that suspect, an interview. And so he obtained a confession from that subject for our 2 catalytic converter thefts. And the suspect also confessed to several others in some other cities. So that's in the process of putting all that together with the other agencies.
Was he arrested here?
No, he was arrested in Louisville
Okay.
last week from a lead from Oklahoma. This guy had, and the way it worked, they would rent cars and literally use the rental cars to go and conduct the crimes. And and with our investigation with the thefts we had here in Trophy Club, the school, both catalytic converters were stolen from the school. So the school camera picked up the car, and then we were able to utilize the flock cameras to identify the car leaving, and that's where we got the plate from, which led to the rental company, which led to the lady that was renting the cars. And then when we put it out to the intel group, that's when a lot of other agencies came together and said, hey, we had the same thing. We had the same thing. So the first 2 that jumped on board was Southlake and Colleyville, because their high schools were hit also. And it just expanded from there. And we were able to pretty much identify that it was the same people involved, because the same girl was renting the cars that were being used.
Do you think it was the same ones who, because I know Plano got hit as well?
Plano was involved also, yes. So we had Plano, Burleson, us, the Colony. It was a large number of agencies. It was about 20 agencies all total.
Wow.
Even down in College Station and Bryan, like the girl who rented the car, it's through an agency called, it's one of these private companies that rent private vehicles to individuals. So what happened is the guy who rented the girl the car had a GPS tracker on the car. So we were able to see where the car went, and we saw where it went to Trophy Club, Southlake, Colleyville, tracked it down to College Station. And so when we started contacting these agencies and everybody got together, it turns out they had used different companies to rent different cars. So that's how it actually just blew up to where it was. So anyway, so that one is in the process of coming together. Another one of our investigations is basically about the burglary of motor vehicles. So we've had several of those, like you know, and they are on a decline. But one of the reasons you see the spikes and valleys on those is that we've identified a group, and this is again through the Intel group with all the different agencies from North Texas. We've identified a group that comes up from Florida. So they'll fly into North Texas, rent cars, and go out to certain areas and conduct these burglary of motor vehicles, and then they'll ship back out to Florida. And what they'll do is they'll break into a car. A lot of times they'll surveil an area to determine a car or who they're going to hit. So they'll see a female, and we had a couple of them at one of our daycares where they'll see a female jump out of a car to take the kid in, leave the car running, and they'll go and hit the car, get the purse, and take off. Most of the time, the cars are unlocked. Sometimes we have cars that are just left there running, and they'll just go hit the car, get the purse, they'll get the checkbook, ID, cards, and all that, and then they'll have females here who will use those checks and ID to go to the bank to try to cash a check immediately. I mean, that same day at one of our local banks. So we've got photographs and vehicles and things of that nature for this group, but from the looks of it, most of them are out of Florida and come in and do the crime, and then they're back out of here. So we're working with several other agencies to try to get more information to basically bring some charges at some point. And the last thing is our new analytical tool, PinLink, which is going to be very helpful in us linking phone numbers, emails, social media accounts, and everything of different people that may be involved in different investigations that are all conducting similar crimes. And we'll be able to bring that information together and start linking those things together for us to solve some of the crimes where people are connected.
What is that called again?
PinLink? Yes.
So I see a new brochure that needs to be made for our city,
Don't miss.
telling people about how to protect themselves. Don't leave your car running. Don't run in.
Yeah.
Lock your car. If you can, park in the garage.
Yeah, we've actually done that in the past where we put public reminders out about locking your cars, because a lot of the BMVs that happened a few years ago, before we got the cameras, it was people from different areas that would come in middle of the night and just walk the street and check door handles. And if the doors were unlocked, they see what they can get out of the car. First thing they do is get in the car and press the button to see if the key fob was in it. And if it was, they try to steal the car. But if it wasn't, then they'll just rumble through the car to see what they can get. And we had guns and computers and everything else stolen that way. And we put out a campaign to where we were alerting people to make sure you lock your cars, lock your doors. Because back then, they weren't breaking windows. They weren't breaking car windows. They would just hit the cars with the doors unlocked. But they just walked down the street. But we did try to, alert the public on that, and I think it helped. I think a lot of people start locking their cars more. But
They get a little lackadaisical, like, we're the safest city in the state of Texas.
exactly.
Nobody's gonna go get my car. Okay,
Exactly.
Yeah, guess what?
Yep. So that's it. That's what's going on in the PD right now. Any questions or anything else? All righty. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no other updates, no other information, no other business, then I call for a motion to adjourn.
I move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, this meeting is adjourned at 6:33.